scholar do you want to be each day? What do you want to be known for? How are you going to be better each day? These are reflective questions that should be in front of us all day and every day. So we talked about Kobe Bryant and his work ethic and how he would have 4 a.m. workouts, right? But he said, I never get bored with the basics. So one of the basics we talked about last week was showing up each day, right? Making sure that you're here. Just like these two scholars, I talked with Ava on her way up to class this morning, right? Because she's here. She's on time. She's ready to go. Kira's here, ready to go today. And I know you are as well. Then we talked about being organized, right? And knowing where your belongings are. And I showed you Allison and Ashley's buckets and seat backs and how that was. Now, listen, when I walked into some classrooms yesterday, it looked like you have gone through your buckets and made them more organized. They look fantastic, especially upstairs. Great job with that. The seat backs are looking good downstairs as well. And in second grade, so good job with all of that, right? But continue to keep that organized so you know where things are at all times. Yesterday, we talked about voice level 0 and making sure we're always traveling in the hallway at voice level 0. We're staying off the wall on a word, and we're using our silent waves when we are saying good morning or good afternoon to somebody. Now, today, we're going to briefly talk about actively listening to the speaker. So some of these you've already heard on the Fairview 5, but I want to take it a little bit deeper. What does it mean when Mr. Hagee says to actively listen to the speaker, right? A lot of you can tell me, oh, Fairview 5, number 1, actively listen to the speaker. Well, here's what it means. It means being locked in to what your awesome teacher is teaching you each day. Not for 5 minutes, not for 15 minutes, not for 6 minutes, the entire day, right? That's a hard skill to learn, but you can learn it over time in the eagle's nest by being locked in to what your awesome teachers are doing. Hey, they're here today. They showed up. You know why they showed up? For you. They showed up to do great things and to teach you today, which is an awesome thing. So we want to give back that respect to our awesome staff members and teachers and actively listening. And if you aren't listening, you don't know where to go next. Right? So if your teacher's like, hey, we're going to turn to page 36 in our Eureka workbook today. I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. What'd she say? What'd he say? I don't know. Well, you've already fallen behind, right? On something very simple where all you had to do was stay locked in, right? So we want to make sure we're staying locked in. So I want to show you something this morning that may help you stay actively listening. So when we think of actively listening, a lot of times we think of our ears, right? Of listening. But I want us to look at this graphic and follow along with me. When you're actively listening, you're a whole body listener, right? So that's just not with your ears. That's with your eyes. Your eyes are always tracking the speaker because I may be listening to Miss Harris if she's teaching, but if I'm looking over here, I'm not actively listening to Miss Harris if she's teaching me math, right? So I've got to track her everywhere she is in the classroom. I've got to listen with my ears. And then I want to make sure that 2 other things are happening up here, that my mouth is not moving because I could be listening to Miss Harris, but if I'm talking to the person beside me, I'm only hearing about half of what Miss Harris is saying because I'm worried more about talking to my friend next to me. So I got to make sure that my mouth is quiet. I'm locked in with my eyes, locked in with my ears. And look at this top part. I had a group of 3rd graders yesterday. And when I was talking with my group of 3rd graders through some reading activities, I said, hey, let's think about it first and then raise our hand. So your brain always needs to be thinking, but you got to give your brain some time to think, right? It's okay if it takes your brain a little bit of time to think about an answer. Hey, it's even okay if you get the wrong answer. That's why listening and knowing how to do it correctly is a big thing. But give your brain a chance to think. Because if I'm locked into the teacher, my brain is locked in, my eyes are locked in, and my mouth is locked in. But if I'm talking, then my brain isn't fully locked into what the teacher is saying. All right, and look at from the neck below. My shoulders are always facing the teacher. That always helps. Because if Miss Harris is in front of me and I'm turned behind and my head, back of my head is showing to Miss Harris, that means I'm not actively listening, especially if it's whole group teaching time. So my shoulders are facing the teacher, my hands are still, and my feet are calm. Now, some of you may have some bands on the bottom of your seat, right, where you can bounce. I like to bounce my feet or tap my feet a lot. That kind of keeps me personally, it keeps me locked in. And there's nothing wrong with that. You can tap your feet, but make sure you're doing that quietly because sometimes that helps stimulate yourself so that you can stay focused. But I want you to try this today. Be a whole body listener, not only with your eyes and your ears. A lot of you do that. But today I want you to try it with your mouth, your shoulders, and your brain. How are you being a whole body listener today in the Eagle's Nest? I'm looking for that today when I come inside your into your classrooms today to see you in action. But I'm also looking for organized buckets, for organized seat backs. I'm looking for elite scholars in the Eagle's Nest, because elite scholars become scholars of the week. Now, I'm going to tell you this before we end announcements. Pre-K through fifth grade, I'm asking you to do a lot. Be organized, show up every day, actively listen. Guess why I'm asking you to do this? Because you can do it, right? The expectation level is high, so we can meet it every single day. Doesn't matter whether you're 5 years old or whether you're 12 years old. You can do it, I promise. So I'm looking forward to seeing you in action today as we have a great Wednesday in the Eagle's Nest. A lot of fun and exciting things in the weeks to come here in the Eagle's Nest, but we've got to continue to do the right thing inside of our classrooms to earn all those privileges that are coming. It's going to be a great day in the Eagle's Nest here on Wednesday, and we're going to get after it starting now at 7:36. Have a fantastic day in the Eagle's Nest.